Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Loeb's Look Ahead, presented by Piggott. My name is Max Loeb, a.k.a. Loeb's Leads, looking ahead to Friday, February 28th. Truthfully, don't have a ton to talk about today. Going to be a quicker episode. We got some good NFL news. Day one of the NFL Combine was today, depending on when you're seeing this. Thursday, the 27th, we had D linemen and linebackers doing all of their drills. We have the game of the year, round 4, Celtics, Cavs. Tomorrow, we got an NBA play of the day for you. And we got a little bit more to talk about in the NFL world as it relates to these guys right here, the New York Giants, but also a couple other quarterback and really position-heavy, needy teams like the Cleveland Browns. We got a lot to talk about. Without further ado, we got to start every episode the same way, telling you what we have going tonight, the current night, our Thursday night picks. We have 2 plays tonight. 3-point Thursday, and our play of the day. The college basketball slate is bare tonight, guys. Almost no good games. Tomorrow is even worse. Crazy night last night, but not a lot of college basketball games tonight. Without further ado, let's get into the 2 picks we are riding tonight. As always, if you guys are not locked in on Pickett, you can see all of these picks come out. We were 2-2 yesterday. Dead even, didn't win, didn't lose. We are putting all of these picks out on Pickett so you can refresh and see the picks as I make them, as they happen. And if you're not already following on there, click the link in the description to do it. Very easy. It's completely free. And by joining with code LEADS, you can see at the top of the screen when we get out of here, LEADS, you're going to get a couple extra bucks cash to put on any type of long shot parlay you want just by joining with code LEADS. Again, it's completely free. Highly suggest you get on it. It's where I track all my picks as well. Definitely something you should look into if you like sports betting. Tonight, our 3-point Thursday, we have Anthony Edwards over 3.5 threes against the Los Angeles Lakers. Last 7 games, we did the research yesterday. The Lakers are giving up a ton of 3-point attempts and makes to opposing guards. Maybe that's the Luka effect. I don't really know. But our play of the day, we have Dallas off of a tough loss against the Lakers. Against the Hornets, they're about 10-point favorites. We have the Suns off a tough game against the Memphis Grizzlies. Money lines minus 295 there. And then we have Jamal Murray in a great matchup against Milwaukee, 21-plus points and assists combined. I love that for Murray. I love that spot. Love that number. That is what we are on for Thursday night. Let's talk NFL news. A couple big things we want to talk about today. Number one, Trey Smith of the Kansas City Chiefs is getting his bag, at least for 1 year. He signed the franchise tag. Well, actually, I should back up a little bit. The Chiefs placed the franchise tag on him yet. They did. They just placed the franchise tag on him. The Chiefs placed the franchise tag on Trey Smith. And now we got to wait. Now, there have been reports that they're working towards a long-term deal. I believe them, and I said it in a TikTok I posted. The Chiefs need offensive line help this offseason much more than they needed DB help last offseason when they played a very similar card with L'Jarius Sneed. If you don't remember, the Chiefs franchise tagged L'Jarius Sneed last offseason and said they were going to try to get something done if it made sense financially. It didn't make sense financially, and there were reports coming out saying that Sneed was going to play on the tag. What happened the first week of free agency? Traded. Signs a long-term deal with the Tennessee Titans. I'm not saying that's going to happen with Trey Smith, but if you're basing off of what happened last year, you can't just assume the Chiefs and Trey Smith are going to work something out. You can't. The market has exploded. Just by signing the franchise tag now, Trey Smith is the highest paid offensive lineman in football. Just because the market has increased, the salary cap has increased, because he signed that tag, even if he's playing for 1 year, and it's great. I said it again. Everybody wants to be the highest paid player at their position in the NFL. Who doesn't want to be that, right? But he wants longevity. He wants guaranteed money, and he wants consistency. How could you not if you're a football player? So I don't know if he wants a long-term deal where it's very similar to the $24 million with Trey Smith, but I would be shocked if he didn't really push for a long-term deal anytime soon. I think that's almost a necessity for Trey Smith and the Kansas City Chiefs. And, if it goes down a similar path like it did with L'Jarius Sneed last year, does he play week 1 for the Chiefs? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. We wait to find that out. A couple other things. Travis Hunter, multiple times at the podium today. We'll talk pre-combine stuff in a second, as well as the combine 40-yard dashes. Said multiple times today, teams have always asked me, how am I able to play corner and wide receiver? Nobody's ever done that before. He said, I'm just different, and I respect that. I really do. We wait to see how that fares in the NFL. Somebody also asked him about returning today. He said, I don't want to put another thing on my plate. I already have 2 jobs. And I completely understand that. Can he play 100% on both jobs? We wait to see that. Not really NFL news, but some NFL number crunching. My big takeaway from today on my own work. Justin Fields statistically was a lot better last year than I think people will give him credit for. I made a video about it. Depending on when you're seeing this, it may not be out yet, but it's coming out tonight, Thursday night. Basically saying that if you are a fan of a quarterback needy team, I think you should be pounding the table for Justin Fields. This is a guy who's, turned the ball over once last year. He fumbled a couple times, but did not lose a fumble. 1 interception in 6 starts at 10-1 total touchdown to interception ratio. Was top 20 in passer rating. Was top 20 in off-target throw percentage, meaning he was the 13th fewest or 13th lowest percentage of off-target throw percentage. He was top 20 in sack percentage avoided, so meaning he avoided sacks when he was facing pressure, when guys were in his face, he was getting out of there. Top 20 in a lot of quarterback categories. Top 20 in completion percentage as well. 38.5 rush yards per game among all quarterbacks who took 20% or more of their team snaps. That's 5th in the NFL, ahead of guys like Drake May, Josh Allen, and Kyler Murray. Justin Fields statistically last year was better than we're going to give him credit for. Don't know if he's going to be, the caliber of player that Stafford or even Sam Darnold was, but he's going to be cheaper and he's only 25 years old. So he still has that ability to be not like the guy. I think that ship has almost sailed. I'm not going to say it has, but he has that ability to walk into a building, prove it on a 1-year deal, and get a multi-year extension where a team does not have to say, oh, this guy's 36 years old. Do we extend him for 2 more years? He's going to be 26 years old next year, 27, I guess, technically. But he is going to cost less than those guys. He's going to cost less than Matt Stafford. He's going to cost less than Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers. And he's younger, has a lot to offer. The ground game is something special with him too. Definitely a guy I want people to watch for. Let's move to the NBA play of the day. I do want to talk about that. We have a great slate tomorrow. Our play of the day will not be in Celtics Cavs. We're going to finish this video with Celtics Cavs. We have actually a pretty good slate tomorrow. NBA Friday is always great stuff. We'll pull that up for you guys really quickly. And as always, if you're not following on Pickett, you can get all this information with the spreads, the totals, everything on Pickett. We have the Nuggets at the Pistons. Huge win for the Pistons on, that would be Wednesday night against the Boston Celtics. Getting the Celtics on a second night of a back-to-back without Jaylen Brown, but big win for them. And they're going to be getting the Denver Nuggets on a second night of a back-to-back this time around. They're actually only 1-point underdogs. It's a pick 'em in that game. Celtics are 2.5-point favorites against the Cavs. We'll talk that at the end. Blazers against the Nets. How about the Nets coming out and almost beating the Thunder, huh? Thunder at Hawks. We have the New York Knicks at the Memphis Grizzlies. Toronto Raptors, Chicago Bulls, Indiana Pacers, Miami Heat. And then we're still waiting for some lines. We got Pelicans, Suns, Timberwolves, Jazz, and then Clippers, Lakers. Clippers, Lakers is going to be a great, great game. We got a ton of games on the slate, guys, where the spread is very close. We have a 3-point spread, 1.5-point spread, 3.5-point spread. 2.5-point or 1.5 really in Blazers Nets. We have 3.5, 2.5 in Celtics. We got 1.5 in Nuggets and Pistons. I'm not leaning into any type of player props here, guys. I'm picking games. That's the reality of it. I'm picking games for our, I don't want to call it a lock because it's going to scare me, and they scared me Wednesday night. I am going to roll with the Thunder in this builder. I am. I also find it very, very hard to believe that Denver on a second night of a back-to-back blows Detroit out. So again, alternate spreads. You can get Detroit right now up to 7. Oh, sorry. No, other way. Up to 9. I would tease them up to double digits, to be honest with you, but you're at minus 196 right there. And then you can go back to NBA here, the third game, and you can pick, any game you like across the board here, a winner, a spread. I personally am going to wait for this Timberwolves Jazz line to come out because, again, Minnesota on a second night of back-to-back does scare me a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's the Utah Jazz. I'm going to rock with Minnesota over the Jazz. So putting that together, you should get a nice even money play there. Again, in the college basketball world, there really isn't too much going on. We'll pull up the schedule for you real quick. In the college basketball world, not too many big games. Scrolling down, I think there was one ranked matchup. Was there even a ranked matchup? I don't even think there is. No ranked matchup, at least that I can see from the – oh, here we go. We'll load down a little bit more. I could have sworn there was a ranked matchup. We have Michigan at home against Rutgers, 9.5-point favorites. That'll be a good game. That's it, though. That's it in terms of big games on Friday night. So again, nothing in the college basketball slate. We will put something together for Celtics Cavs at the very end, though, so we're all on the same page there. But nothing really in the college basketball slate. In terms of NFL pre-combine stuff, truthfully, the linebackers are currently running 40, so all that stuff will be on the socials, so make sure you're following if you're not already. Defensive linemen, I posted a video about this as well. Lots of guys are going to jump in terms of the numbers compared to the other players, the other linemen. But here's the reality, guys. Here's the reality. Nobody's ever going to touch the athleticism of the Eagles' defensive line. You got guys running in underwear out there, not with pads on. And guess who are the most successful guys running out there with underwear on and not pads on? The Georgia Bulldogs. Look, defensive linemen are a different breed, and obviously you have to have the pads on. You have to see how they do in different scenarios, where they're aligned against different schemes, things like that. But at the end of the day, if you're going to find the most athletic defensive linemen, watch the combine, sure, be my guest, but nobody's ever going to compare to those guys the Eagles have. And I mean, the only guys that I've seen so far that have, you got Georgia Bulldogs. I mean, defensive lineman combine stuff is not, it's important, obviously. And, you want to look at defensive linemen. It's integral to a team. It's integral to this team right here, those New York Giants. But the 40 and, the broad jump, bench press matters, but stuff like that is not as important unless you're looking for the next Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis or Nolan Smith. Like, the reality is you can watch all the defensive line combine stuff. The movement aspect of it to me is not as important as it is watching somebody's film. Now, when you get into like the DBs, that is very fascinating. I'm going to be watching that. I believe they're running tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Travis Hunter's not, but you get into the DBs, that is where the most important stuff comes in. So we'll have a little breakdown of that in tomorrow's episode, the next episode before the weekend. But I do want to finish talking Celtics Cavs. This is it, guys. This is the last time they meet before the Eastern Conference Finals, I think. It's going to be a crazy game. So I'll pull up the numbers for you real quick. Right now, the Celtics are walking into this game, like we talked about, as 2.5-point favorites. And here's the reality. This is a tough spot to pick this game because the Boston Celtics are coming off a game where they lost again without Jaylen Brown, second night of a back-to-back, but they're coming off a loss. I don't think the Celtics can lose 2 games in a row. And then you got the Cleveland Cavaliers coming off multiple days of rest. They played, their last game was Tuesday, not Wednesday, Tuesday. So you have a really well-rested Cavs team with potentially with Darius Garland back against the Celtics team at home. I'm not going to fade the Celtics in this scenario. I think the Celtics win this game. If that money line moves up into the 130 range, I'll probably just wind up hammering that. But this is a game where you have to look at Darius Garland potentially coming back and how well he usually plays against Boston. I mean, he doesn't. Like, he has struggled the past couple times they've played. It's always been the Donovan Mitchell show, but it's the shooters. That's the reality against the Cavs and really the Celtics too. It's the shooters. It's the Sam Merrills. It's the Sam Hausers. It's the Peyton Pritchards. It's the Derek Whites. It's guys like that it's basically who's going to get hotter at the right time. That's what it comes down to. Again, total here, 231.5. I think that's a little bit low. You look at the last time these guys played. I'll pull it up for you real quick. One of the worst shooting nights I've personally witnessed. I was in the buildings for this game, and they still combined for what? 1 or 2, 17. Like, I think this is going to be a high-scoring game again. You see the Cavs had a 15-point first quarter in that game the last time they played. Both teams shot horrendously in the first half. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I don't think this is going to be a defensive battle. So I think if you want to tease down the team total, I cannot see the Celtics getting blown out in this game. That's the last thing I think would happen. Back-to-back losses, like I can't see that happening. So if you don't want to just go with the Celtics straight, you can tease them up to probably like 9.5 and go with an alternate total or whatever you want to do. Sorry, not 9.5. It'd be 5.5. You'll get a plus money play there, but I'm going to be on the Celtics, assuming that money line hovers around the 140, 130 area. We'll be on our POD tomorrow with the Thunder. We will tease up our final teaser who was our teaser? We just talked about it. We're definitely going to take the Timberwolves whenever that number comes out, and then we're going to tease up the Detroit Pistons because I don't see the Nuggets blowing them out on second night of a back-to-back. But that's what we're going to be on. Again, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. Make sure to subscribe if you have not joined the family already. We will have our final episode of the week, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern on the YouTube. So make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. We'll see you guys next time. God bless.